AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the show, all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. You're listening to Get Down to Business, and I am your host, Shalom, Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. While you're there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week. We've got a great lineup of some additional guests coming up for us over here, including my very next guest, Larry Kaufman, who is the author of the NCG Factor. And Larry and I have known each other for quite a while. I've got a copy of his book right here, the NCG Factor, a formula for building life-changing relationships from college to retirement. There's nobody that lives and breathes this work more than Larry. I've gotten to know you for quite a while, and I know you've spoken all over the country, really all over the world. And the book is really an extension of everything that you've been doing in the business community. It's such a pleasure to have you on the air.
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine, Shalom. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you and about NCG Factor.
Absolutely. So your claim to fame for quite a while has been some of your LinkedIn speaking and coaching. How did that get started, and how did that lead to the book?
So thank you. Yes. So I actually included a story about a woman here in Chicago when LinkedIn was very, very new. I was right around the millionth member. Today they have almost 700 million members. And this woman that I had met said she had a group of 35 small business owners. Would you share something about LinkedIn? And LinkedIn was very new, a couple of years old. And I didn't know a lot, but I knew a little bit. And I said, I'll do it. And I thought I did a terrible job. Turns out everyone liked it, because when you know more about something than everybody else, you look like an expert. So I, from there, decided to become an expert and immerse myself in it. And that expanded and turned into speaking about LinkedIn as a trainer and a coach all over the country, outside the country, and across industries, organizations, events. And I incorporated a chapter about that into the book, because I think with NCG, which is networking, connecting, and giving, LinkedIn plays a huge role in that whole process.
It certainly does. So, Larry, you have the term, the NCG Factor. What does NCG stand for?
So it's networking, connecting, and giving. So you bring it all together. It's this formula for building life-changing relationships from that onset of college all the way through retirement.
Fascinating. And how much of your life continues to be some of the LinkedIn consulting versus the book? And will there be another book on the horizon?
That's a great question. So LinkedIn continues. Thankfully, LinkedIn is technology that keeps becoming obsolete on a fairly routine basis. And so I stay up to date. So that continues, because I have a chapter on LinkedIn in the book. I actually incorporate speaking on the book and some LinkedIn, and I'll do them separately. But I'm going to continue to speak about LinkedIn because it still has a valid need in the marketplace. But I really love now speaking about the book to all types of audiences, from business owners to really it could be almost anybody. I've spoken to a lot of financial executive groups to sales professionals. So they're both going to continue, on the same trajectory because they're both part of the book and what I do day to day.
Indeed, you have. And I know the subtitle of the book is A Formula for Building Life-Changing Relationships from College to Retirement. How can you combine those two categories into the same conversation, college to retirement? Where's really the focus of the book?
Well, I mean, I'm impacting audiences and people, so if I speak to a group of college folks, or if I'm speaking to, people that are nearing retirement, I think people think it's time to hang it up. So it depends upon the group. If I'm speaking to college kids, are they thinking about retirement? One day they may pass along some of the wisdom to their parents. But when I speak to a group like that about the book, I may not talk as much about retirement as I am going to focus on what they're doing today and what they're trying to think about doing tomorrow. So they're not always combined and rolled into the same conversation. If I'm speaking to an audience that's a little more experienced and seasoned that may have retirement in their sights, then I can roll that all together.
And tell me a little bit about what else you are doing professionally. I know you wrote the book, and that must have been a massive, massive commitment of time. I know you're doing a lot of public speaking. How does all this tie into your professional life?
Well, thank you. So, and what I do today, I work for a $20 billion global workforce management corporation called Manpower Group in Milwaukee, and I run a Midwest region division with a team of about 50 people, and we're focused in the areas of accounting, finance, tax, and risk advisory with very large corporations down to middle market organizations here in the Midwest, and helping them with some of their consulting needs, some of their professional resourcing needs, and also with their permanent hiring needs. And because of the economic climate today, we're adapting and we're helping our clients that are essential businesses and need our help and we need to be on site, or we're adapting because we have technology on our side and we could work in a virtual environment. So my focus is to help companies putting people to work and helping those companies with the right talent that are going to help them with their needs on an interim or permanent basis.
Interesting. And tell me a little bit about your family and how they've supported you along the way.
So I couldn't be anywhere without my family. So my wife said, stop investing in all these startups and let me invest in you. And that's why I wrote the book. And, she's not going to let me write another one for a little while. But we've been married coming up on 31 years, starting out from a Vegas elopement in 1989. And then I have a son who'll be turning 20 in college, and then a daughter who's 16, a sophomore in high school.
Amazing. And where else are you involved in the community, and how important is that in your life?
Thank you very much. So I do support a charity here that's in Chicago and has launched LA, the Holiday Heroes, where we help sick to terminally ill children in hospitals and bring a sense of normalcy to their lives. And I've been involved with that organization on the board for the past 7 years, working with Lurie's and La Rabida and Shriners and other hospitals, and very rewarding. But as a connector giver, I love helping out other charitable causes, and big passion of mine is I help out a lot of people in transition. So in the book, I've set a goal, and I talk about setting goals that we could set financial and other goals. I set a goal to help someone in transition every week.
That's amazing. Where can people pick up a copy of the book, and how can they learn more about you?
So on Amazon, The NCG Factor. And I say the best way to learn about me is look me up on LinkedIn. So I am LinkedIn Larry as well. That's a name people call me. And look for Larry Kaufman in Chicago, all caps. Hard not to be able to find me on LinkedIn.
And it's such a common name, but so easy to find. Larry Kaufman, a international LinkedIn speaker, author of a new book, The NCG Factor. And it's an incredible read. You're an incredible professional, and it's such a pleasure to have you here on Get Down to Business, the show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. One more time, how can people get a hold of you?
So look me up on LinkedIn, or feel free if you want to email me. I do respond, larry.kaufman@experis.com. Thank you, Shalom.
Absolutely, Larry. Please keep us posted on your future endeavors. I know you said your wife won't allow you to write a book for a while, but definitely if that does happen, please do let me know as soon as possible, and we'll get you booked on the air. And hopefully we'll be able to do it in person. Larry Kaufman, author of The NCG Factor. Thanks for joining us on Get Down to Business. Don't be a stranger.
Thank you, Shalom.
Absolutely. Coming up after the break, I'm going to be chatting with a retired Army Colonel, Paul Heddick, about some ways that you can support our armed forces. You're listening to the show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship, and we'll be right back.
Right now,